Sam in Texas, thank you for calling in. You wanted to tell us a little bit about why you believe in God and maybe why we should.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Matt? Mandisa. Anyway, the reason why I'm calling is just basically, just trying to make this simple for you. Is the reason why I believe pretty much is the same reason why you believe. And I mean, it's human nature to believe. Now, I'm not going to, call to give
you want to elaborate on that, please, Sam?
Yeah, because if you say the reason you believe is the same reason I believe, well, I don't believe.
Right.
Not in a God. I believe in other things. So clearly your reason for believing in God can't be the same as mine. So why do you believe and why should we believe?
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Is the reason why I believe is the same reason why you believe. It's because you don't believe there's a God. I believe there's a God. So we're both believers. You just don't believe there's a God, and I believe there is a God.
Okay.
Sam, if I may interject, which God do you believe in? Can you answer that?
Yeah, there's also a problem here in saying, if you say that you have cancer in the same way that I don't have cancer, we're not talking about the same thing. You are convinced that a proposition is true, and I am not convinced that it's true. So nothing about our reasoning is the same. So rather than just saying I'm not hearing you, why don't we try to start again? Maybe answer Mandisa's question and tell us why you believe and why you think we should.
Can we stay on topic? Do you have cancer? No. Do I have cancer? No.
Sam?
We're here talking about
Sam?
It's as simple as that. Yes, go ahead.
Great. So I'm going to put you on hold for a second. We are staying on topic. Whether or not I have cancer, that's an analogy. And I'm showing that the type of argument that you're using, the thing that you're saying, is not actually sensible. When you say that you believe in God for the same reason that I don't, that is not sensible. And that's the thing I was trying to make clear with an analogy. And so all I'm asking is for you to explain why you believe in a God and why you perhaps think we should believe in a God as well.
Okay. Let's first start with the definition of belief. Is belief equal to God? Belief is just a belief. That's a word, belief.
Okay, Sam, I'm going to pause you and mute you again. If we're going to start by defining terms, let's start by defining them sensibly. If you say, first of all, I'd love a definition of God, but if you say, what is belief equal to God? Well, that's nonsense because none of us are saying that. Belief is the condition of accepting a proposition as true or likely true. It means that one is convinced of something. You can't define belief by calling it a belief. You have not actually added anything to it. So,
Matt, I'm trying to reason with you guys. Can we just,
I don't believe you, Sam, because you're not listening and you are saying things that are absurd. I'm starting to think that you are a prank caller. So would you explain to us why you are convinced that a God exists and why you think we should be, or I would just move on to somebody else who will do that?
The simple reason I believe God exists is for the exact same reason that you believe that he don't. It's human nature to believe.
No, I'm sorry, Sam, but simply saying that, so you might as well be saying, I believe you don't, that's that. Well, that's not a reason. It's not an explanation. It doesn't offer any justification for accepting a proposition. It doesn't do anything to edify any of us on the subject at all. What convinces you that a God exists?
Matt, just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean you need to disagree with everything I say.
Sam, just because I'm an atheist doesn't mean you need to disagree with everything I say. But because I'm the host of this show, you will answer the question that you're asked, or we'll move on to someone else. Why are you convinced that a God exists?
Look, my goal here wasn't to give you...
Sam, are you going to answer my question, or are you going to keep avoiding it to tell me what your goal is and whine about how you think you've been mistreated?
Well, because obviously you just don't want to listen. So,
Sam, I've been hosting a TV show for 16 years where I listen. I debate people on a regular basis. If you would present a reason why you believe that is sensible, evidence-based, or anything else, I'm happy to listen. But I'm not happy to listen to you whine, and I'm not happy to listen to you keep going on about you believe for the same reason I don't believe, because that's bullshit.
Why?
Well, first of all, you can't say that you believe for the same reason I don't believe, because that is like saying you have cancer for the same reason I don't have cancer. I'm sorry if analogies are difficult for you, but I don't know how else to explain it. Are you going to present a reason why you believe, or are we going to go on to another caller?
Well, that's what I was getting to. But
no, sir, it's not. And if you do not get to the point immediately, I will reach the conclusion reasonably that you are a bullshitting prank caller, and I will hang up on you and move on to someone, because I take this stuff seriously. This isn't a joke to me. If in fact there is a God, it's the single most important question that anybody could ask. And I resent the fact that you and punks like you call in to do this over and over again, to act as if you've said something when you know damn good and well you haven't said anything. So why do you believe in a God? That's all I've asked. That's what I've been asking as politely as possible from the instant you called. Either get to your prank call, name calling, whatever it is you're going to do, so I can hang up on you, or make your case for God, or I will hang up on you.
The more I listen to you, Matt, is the more I feel sorry for you.
Goodbye, sir.
Wow, gee.
You should feel sorry for me, because I have to take calls from people like you, because some of us are honest interlocutors and some of us are not. I should be pitied for having dedicated my life to doing my best to actually have conversations, to engage with people, to try to be sensible. As a matter of fact, I did a debate just the other night that was absolutely atrocious. A neurosurgeon demonstrating how one can be incredibly smart and gifted at neurosurgery, and an arrogant, dismissive prick and seemingly unknowledgeable about all kinds of other things, just calling me names the whole debate and everything else. It was obnoxious. But rather than sitting there whining about it like Sam does as a caller, I just waited and then did a closing that addressed it all. I would love, I apologize, Mandisa, because we didn't get to say anything. Neither of us got to do anything. I'm going to do the announcements in just a second, but I want to start the show off a little better. If you're out there right now and you're a theist, you are someone who genuinely believes that there's a God. Do you think that Sam was a good representative of you? Do you think Dr. Egnor was a good representative of you? If not, why haven't you called in? I know that if you go back through these calls, you will find many occasions where myself, my fellow hosts and co-hosts, have had lengthy conversations with people who are sincerely presenting their justifications, even when we think those justifications are nonsense. But if you're just going to call in to waste time, we're going to suss you out. You're going to get your YouTube clip. You're still going to be a sad excuse for an existence, while the rest of us are trying to figure out whether or not these claims are true. If you don't care about God stuff, go away. It's not, but if you're a genuine believer, if you're a Christian and you believe in your obligation under 1 Peter 3:15 to give the reason for the faith that's within you, then you should call. And if you're a genuine Christian who doesn't think that people like Sam represent you well, because I'm not convinced Sam's even a Christian. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam isn't just another atheist prank caller. I don't saddle all of Christianity with people like Sam. But if you are sitting there as a theist, as a Christian, as a Hindu, as a Muslim, as a Hare Krishna, and listening to what these people are coming up with when we say, hey, what's your reason for believing? Well, my reason for believing is exactly the same as your reason for not believing. Fundamentally, you don't know how to argue. You don't understand evidence. You don't even understand the burden of proof. You don't even understand what it means to accept a proposition. And you couldn't define the word belief without using the word belief. Bring your A game, but at least be sincere. I would rather talk to some of the most uneducated, uninformed theists on the planet who are sincere in presenting what they believe than another smug, let me get my fucking voice on the air prank caller. It's not worth my time. Oh, look, we got Matt, we triggered him, we got him to make a speech about this. Yes, you did. I'm not triggered. I'm not panicked. I'm trying to make sure that the audience who's sitting here, the thousands of people who watch this live, and the hundreds of thousands who are going to watch it in the coming weeks, aren't embarrassed for all of us at the quality of conversation that is happening, because theists are either afraid to call or cannot be honest, or worse, the atheists have decided to just sit here and be little shits. I have zero interest in that. I got better things to do with my Sunday.
Right. And of course, we hope that the latter isn't true, right? We're certainly hoping that, our fellow atheists aren't doing stuff like this. Of course, we don't speak for all atheists. And I think that is exactly where Sam was very disingenuous. We don't try to presume that we can always think what other people are thinking. Or that we know what other people are thinking, especially like you said, Matt, when he's trying to say that, when someone is trying to say that, well, the same reasons why I believe is the same reason why you don't. Certainly that isn't the case. I'm not saying that all atheists come to the same or decision to not believe the same way, but usually it is rooted in either an evidence or lack thereof. So there usually tends to be a more informed process in that. And certainly there are believers who make informed decisions, whether it is about God or not. But certainly, yeah, please don't be dishonest or disingenuous. And that's exactly what the caller was doing.